gonna be...
Ready?
Sure.
What?
Sure.
I will be your doom! You are strong. Stronger than me, even in my darkness. I am Juhani, and this is my grove. This is the place of my dark power. This is the place you have invaded. When I embraced the dark side, this is where I sought my solace. It is mine. Yes. Aren't they pretty? My pets. They like the smell of power I exude. They know their master. I harnessed true power when I struck down my master, Quatra. Power enough to crush the life from someone such as you. Or so I had thought. What is it you want? Why do you bother me? Talk. You who have beaten me so easily just want to talk? I do not believe it. Kill me now while you still have the power. Not anger, peace. Yet even with your naive attitude, you managed to beat me. I am pathetic. I sit here and think myself to be great by embracing the dark side, but I am nothing. There is no way I could be turned back. I always thought they held me back, or jealous of my power. This is only because I was not good enough to meet their standards. I never have been. I seem to still have much to learn, both about being a Jedi and about myself. But I wish the cost of my ignorance had not been so high. I wish that my master had not suffered because of me. If she were alive now, there would be so much I would say to her. So much I would apologize for. How can the Council ever take me back with what I have done? Striking my master down in anger is unforgivable. The Council may forgive a lot, but not this. I am lost. Even though I would repent, there is nowhere left for me to go. Leave me to my hopelessness. I do not know what to do, now that I have caused such suffering to my master and those around me. If she were alive now, how can the count... And denied? No, no, I cannot. And so here I will stay. Leave me to my hopelessness. I do not know what to do. If she... How can... If I show them I am free of passion, that I am serene, that I am willing to forsake the dark side, and maybe, just maybe, they would accept me back. Do you think they would? Could it be possible after what I have done? I thank you, Master Jedi. I will return to the Council then. I shall submit myself to their judgment and hope they will forgive me. Again, I thank you. I am sure I will hear great things about you in the future.
How'd you like You asked for this! You have done a great thing. One of our own had strayed, but you have returned Juhani to the Order. For this you deserve the highest praise.
I must give you my thanks. Because of you, I am once again welcome within the Jedi Order. KotOR's injuries were not so severe as I first believed. I was foolish to believe I could harm a master such as she with my clumsy efforts. The fierce confrontation between us was nothing more than part of my training. KotOR wanted me to understand the threat of the dark side, to see how easy it was to fall from the path of light. KotOR's methods may seem strange, but I trust her wisdom. This lesson has been difficult, but I am better because of it. Humility is never easy to teach, but now I truly understand my own limitations.
You can't expect to get everything handed to you on a silver platter.
After our last battle, KotOR had nothing left to teach me. I needed time alone to explore the turmoil of my own spirit. Only then was I ready to follow a guide. You. Back to the light. When I left, KotOR knew her work with me was done. There are other disciples who need training throughout the galaxy, and she could not stay to see if I passed this most difficult trial. With your help, I have passed this difficult trial. The Council now feels I am ready to continue with my training, though they have asked me to wait here for the time being.
First the Jedi trick you into becoming an enemy, then they welcome you back as a friend. I can't say I approve of their training methods.
Giving you a second chance like this is a clear sign of weakness. Sometimes I find it hard to believe the Jedi could defeat my people in battle.
I do not know what the Council has in store for me, but I will trust in the Force and the way of the Jedi to help me through whatever is to come.
It is good to see Juhani has returned to the way of the light. You are to be commended for your role in this. Your actions give us great hope for the future. Go to Master Jar and inform him that Juhani has returned to us. I think you may be nearing the end of your apprenticeship.
You have done well, my pupil. The ancient grove has been purified, and Juhani's journey down the dark path has been halted. Because of you, she walks once more in the light. But though she was saved, do not dismiss what happened to her. Juhani is both dedicated and true to the ideals of the Order, yet she was still vulnerable to the dark side, as are we all. She struck her master in anger during her training and injured her greatly. But it was KotOR's choice to test Juhani this way, and it seems to have made its point. Juhani has been redeemed, and you have passed your final test. Congratulations, apprentice. Or should I say, congratulations, Padawan. You have proven yourself worthy of joining the Jedi. Let me be the first to welcome you as a full-fledged member of our Order.
Your training is now complete, Padawan. And perhaps now it is time we dealt with the matter of the dream you and Bastila shared. When we heard of the ruins in your dreams, Master Dorak recognized it as one of a series of ancient structures here on Dantooine. This one in particular lies to the east of this enclave. We sent a Jedi to investigate, but he has not returned. Perhaps sending him in the first place was a mistake. The Force is guiding you through your visions. It may be that exploring the ruins is a task tied to your destiny. That is why the Council has now decided you should be the one to investigate this. The secrets to stopping Malak may be hidden within those ruins. You must investigate them and find what Revan and Malak were looking for. Be sure to bring Bastila with you. There is a powerful link between you, and you will need to draw strength from each other during the trials ahead. I demand justice! The Central family is a blight upon Dantooine. They must be punished. The Council will look into this matter, Mr. Matale. You must be patient. Your accusations have no proof, and we do not want you stirring up trouble with the Sandrals if there is some mistake. Mistake? My son Shen is missing. How can there be any doubt the Sandrals are to blame?
There are other possible explanations for your son's disappearance.
Ah, you Jedi are good for nothing but talk. I shall only wait so long before I take action on my own. As dangerous as the threat from Darth Malak and the Sith may be, we Jedi cannot simply abandon our other responsibilities. The Council has promised Alan Matale we will look into his son's disappearance. Should you have time, Padawan, you may want to investigate this matter.
If Shen Matale is not returned to his father, it may ignite a savage and bloody feud between the Matale and Sandral estates. We must not allow that to happen.
Your study and training are important, of course, but the Jedi are not a cloistered order. Our influence and teachings must spread beyond the walls of our academies.
It is in the real world that we truly prove ourselves worthy of the title Jedi. You would do well to remember this, young Padawan.
The task has its own importance. It may also serve to divert our minds for a short time, something which carries its own rewards. What can I do?
What?
What can I do?
Sure.
I do not know what the Council has in store for me, but I will trust in the Force and the way of the Jedi to help me through whatever is to come.
Out of this, kid. If you haven't given us enough money, I guess we're gonna have to take it out of you piece by piece.
No! Please! Take my wife and children instead. Anything!
Wife and children. Sounds like a good idea.
There.
Here it is!
Let's make this quick.
This is private property. By what authority are you trespassing on this estate? You have come from the Jedi Council. Master Matali wishes to speak with you. I will inform him that you are here. Remain at this location until he arrives.
My protocol droid tells me you are here on behalf of the Council. I was beginning to think my demands had been ignored, though I think your time would be better spent interrogating the Sandrels as to the whereabouts of my son Shen.
Proof? How dare you talk to me about proof? I have more than enough to satisfy any reasonable person.
Many years ago, I brought my family here to Dantooine to escape the crush of humanity on the KotOR worlds. Soon after we settled here, the Sandrels arrived, and they have been a plague upon my house ever since. The injustices the Sandrels have committed against the Matalis are far too numerous to name. But the Council is well aware of our many disputes. Recently, I discovered several Sandrel droids trespassing on my land. My own security droids destroyed the invaders. Not a single one survived.
At least you're efficient.
It was shortly after this incident that Shen, my only son and heir to the Matali estate, vanished. Obviously, Nurik, the unscrupulous head of the Sandrel clan, has abducted my son in retaliation for the destruction of his droids. The only resolution possible is the immediate return of my son. Why does the Council insist on stalling? The life of my son is at stake. Is it possible? Yes, of course. Now I understand. I am a man of the world, Jedi. I know how things are done. I will make a contribution of 1,000 credits to the Council in exchange for rescuing Shen from the Sandrels. I will present the credits directly to you, of course. Whether the Council ever learns of this donation is completely up to you. Nevertheless, my offer still stands. 1,000 credits for Shen's safe return. Know, however, that I will not sit idly by much longer. Eventually, I will take whatever action is necessary to rescue my son, including raising the entire Sandrel estate. Until you find Shen, Jedi, we have nothing further to discuss. I suggest you hurry south to their estate, lest I take matters into my own hands.
Yes?
Yes?
What?
What?
Yes? Sure.
What can I do?
Sure.
I'm here.
What?
Here it is! That'll show you.
Thank you for saving me, Master Jedi. I am C-842, a personal assistant class. That was not that bad, compared to what I had to endure back at my owner's. That would be one way of putting it. I'm afraid my owner became a bit too attached to me. Obsessed, even. She tried to treat me as her dead husband. It was not healthy for her. She is obsessed. She rarely sees other people, and appears to be fixated on me as her husband. She was becoming more and more insular. I thought it best that I leave. She may meet other real people this way. In fact, that was the reason I came here and sought out those cat hounds. I think it would be best if I were no longer a factor. She would meet new people, living people. Please, will you destroy me? But why? You're right. How could I be so selfish? I must not think only of myself, but of how it affects her. She must be frantic, and if she lost me, she'd be devastated. I must return then. It is my duty.
What can I do?
Yes?
You cannot win.
Sure.
What can I do?
Yes?
Cannot win.
Yes?
Huh?
Yes?
Can I do?
What?
There.
The Force fights with me!
There. There.
What can I
do? Yes?
Let's make
make this quick. Let's make this quick. What can I do?
This is gonna be fun.
What?
What can I do?
Sure.
This is private property. By what authority are you trespassing on this estate? The council. If you are here because of Shen Matale's disappearance, you are wasting your time. The Sandals are not involved. This is nothing but a Matale witch hunt. Cassius is dead. Then it is as we feared. You should speak to Nurek yourself. He will want to question you on the details of his son's death. Nurek left orders he was not to be disturbed, but given the circumstances, I will make an exception. Go into the main hall. Nurek will meet with you there.
Yes?
Sure.
I have been informed by my protocol droid that you have news about my son Cassius. Cassius is dead? I was afraid of this. Yet in my heart I knew it must be true. What happened to my son? Cath hounds? I was so certain the Matale family was to blame. But this changes nothing. My own son is dead. Why should I shed one tear about the disappearance of my bitter enemy's son?
Typical. Anything to continue the feud which has become so customary to you people.
I must ask you something, though it is difficult for me. My son had a diary, his private, personal thoughts. Now that he is gone, I have nothing else to remember him by. Please, the diary means more to me than it ever could to you. I will give you 100 credits for its return.
Mighty generous of you. A little too generous, if you ask me.
I thank you for this. The diary is all I have left of my son. We have nothing further to discuss. Please, leave me to my grief.
You are here from the Council, are you not? Looking for Shen Matale? My name is Rahasia. Nurik is my father. He has not been himself since Cassus disappeared. He is mad with grief, and he is convinced the Matales are responsible. He's not thinking rationally. Cassus is dead? It is as I feared. Though I'm relieved the Matales are not responsible. My father is a good man. When my mother died, he raised me and my brother by himself. He loves his children, and we love him. I just don't want you to judge him too harshly. You must understand that Father has been under a terrible strain. I have no wish to disobey him, but there are matters where even my father's authority is not absolute. My father has kidnapped Shen Matale. He is holding him prisoner here in the compound. He feels this is a way to get back at the Matales, a way to get even for the disappearance of my brother Cassus.
I see. Well, there is the answer we seek. The Jedi Council should be informed of this at once.
No! Since Cassus went missing, my father has become unstable. He might hurt him if you do that. He no longer even cares if the Matales are responsible for what happened to Cassus. I am afraid my father will simply kill Shen out of a mad, misguided lust for vengeance. Shen is an innocent victim in all this. My father is not a bad man, but his grief has driven him to madness. He must be stopped. Please, find Shen and rescue him before my father does something he will regret forever. I would take you to the prison, but I cannot let my father see me with you. Take this key. It will open an unguarded door at the rear of the estate. You and Shen can make your escape through there. There are many security droids guarding the halls. Please hurry. You are Shen's only hope. Shen and I, we have been taught by our families to hate each other, just for being related to our fathers. But I met Shen alone one day in the city, away from his father. And Shen was so charming, so sweet. He didn't care at all that I was a Sandral. He just accepted me for who I was, with no reservations. We talked and met again over months and fell in love. My brother Cassus met him too, and they were beginning to become friends. But then this whole mess had to happen. Please find Shen and free him. You are my only hope.
Yes?
Yes? What?
Who are you? What do you want with me? Are you working for my father? Rescue me? No. I won't leave. It's too dangerous. It's not my own safety I'm concerned about. I'm worried about the fate of Nurik's daughter, Rahasia. She's been trying to convince her father to release me ever since I was captured. If I escape, Nurik will think Rahasia is to blame. Nurik is insane with grief over the loss of his son, Cassus. If I leave with you, it is Rahasia who will suffer. I cannot allow that. If you can convince Rahasia to escape with us, I will accompany you. Though I do not know if she'd be willing to turn her back on her home and family. Who could imagine a Sandral doing such a thing for the sake of a Matali? But if she will not go, then I too shall stay. I would rather face my own death than have her face her father's wrath because I escaped. Thank you. I wish you luck.
I'm here. I'm here.
What are you doing here? Have you found Shen yet? Shen can be so stubborn sometimes. If one of the security droids sees me wandering the halls, Father will get suspicious. I can't risk it, but I know Shen would rather die than leave me here alone to face the wrath of my father. Tell Shen I will meet you outside the gates. I will wait as long as I can, but you must hurry.
You're back. Have you spoken to Rahasia? I pray she is not just telling me what I want to hear, but I will have to take that chance. Hurry then, we must not keep Rahasia waiting.
Shen, you're safe.
Rahasia! Oh, thank goodness you managed to escape.
It was all thanks to this kind Jedi that we managed to get this far at all. I thank you, Jedi, for all that you have done for us.
No, we know that you must have gone to great personal risk to get us out of the Sandral estate undetected. But surely we can...
There you are, Shen.
Father!
Mr. Matale.
Rahasia!
Father!
Mr. Sandral!
Nurik!
Alan!
I knew this was all your doing. I knew you had captured my son.
You had taken my Cassus from me long before that. You started it.
I don't want to hear any of your excuses. Now, I will get revenge for your transgressions.
Please listen to him, Father.
Why should I listen to the Jedi? All you want is to remain with that Sandral harlot.
My daughter is not a harlot, Matale dog! We are trying to be reasonable here, of course. We are sensible people, after all. But our children are being so stubborn.
If Shen would just understand that he has to do what I want, this would all be solved easily. No! I won't let you do this!
I don't care. Rahesia and I will live on our own if you won't accept us.
You will do no such thing! I am your father, and I order you to come back with me!
No, Father, I won't.
Rahesia, you will not leave with this Matale boy!
I am, Father, and you can't stop me. We're leaving for the Enclave.
You foolish girl! You think to make us stand here, then?
You expect us to just let them leave? Droids, stop them!
You will not turn your droids on my daughter. Droids, don't let them take Rahesia.
We appear to be at an impasse, then. And they got away.
It is your fault, darling. You were always too violent for your own good.
Me? You were the one who rushed out here with war droids. I will not rest until I have my Shen back. The Council will hear of the troubles you caused, Jedi.
Indeed they shall.
I'm here.
Achuta, Bunga. Muchas bacana. Kita kuju stak Miki grab mopo. Kachichu, jedu baduana ni di bomo. Bunga digo bunga kunga. Wana kachikun ida bunga. Tong hai duang jiji jung lumpa. Nita poe tikito. Bunga digo bunga kunga. Kachikun ida bunga. Ikingu lunga digo lunga kun hungabi. Wana kun bez chinka chikun ida lunga. Ikingu no bamule lunga digo lunga kun hungabi. Wana kun ka chikun ida lunga. Ikingu no lunga digo lunga kun hungabi. Wana kun bez mucho shot bacant. No.
Another Jedi, huh? Helping that Twi'lek investigate, no doubt. He seems stumped. I'm Rickard Lusoff. Maybe you can figure this out and let me get out of here. Well, I was out hunting Iriaz when I spotted one over here by the bridge. I pull out my rifle and aim at it. I couldn't see it that well, mind you, because the damn sun was in my eyes. So I shoot it and it drops. I walk over here and find Handon standing over Calder's body. So why don't you get this whole farce over with and send that whiner Handon to the prison he belongs in?
Greetings, Padawan. You must be the one Master Baluk has enlisted to help him with this problem. I am an information retrieval droid. I can assist you by accessing the records of both the Jedi Enclave and the central government facilities here on Dantooine. If you have any need of my services, please do not hesitate to talk to me. I have already retrieved some information from the archives on KotOR, Ricard Lusov, and Handon Gould. I have also had time to examine the body of Mr. Netic. Is there any information you require? These plains are rife with wild animals, not all of them benign. The Iriars are mostly docile, but can easily be provoked to violence. Kathhounds, on the other hand, are much more deadly. There have been over 35 catalogued attacks on settlers by Kathhounds in the last 2 weeks. A general advisory was given out 3 days ago to carry a weapon at all times when on the plains. Small farms and holdings dot the plains and can provide safe refuge for those in need. Is there any other information you need? My preliminary analysis of the body indicates that he was killed approximately 3 hours ago by a single energy blast to the torso. Is there any other information you need? Very well. I will be here to assist you.
Ah, greetings. You must be assisting Master Baluk in his investigation. I'm Handon Gould. Perhaps you've heard of me? Well, I presume you wish to hear my story, then. I shall tell you, of course, but there's not much to it. I'm sure that you'll agree that Rickard is quite obviously guilty of murder. You see, I was out here running earlier today. Yes, running. I do that a lot. Can't stand speeders, never use them. Keeps me in shape, too, you know. Anyway, I was out running on the other side of that bridge there, and all of a sudden I heard a shot coming from over here. I ran over and found this man Calder lying on the ground, dead. I saw Rickard come skulking out of the shadows of the rocks south of the river, and I knew something was wrong. I hit my emergency button and called the Enclave right away. Well, there. That's my story. Now, please hurry this up and arrest Rickard so I can get on with my day. How can I be of further assistance? Injured? No, of course not. Why would I have been? Fit as a bathtub. I run. I don't know if I mentioned that. How can I be of further assistance? I was taking my daily constitutional. I just happened to be running by when I heard a shot. I ran over and found Calder's body lying there. Yes, quite often. I generally prefer running to anything else. Can't stand speeders. A healthy body will breed a healthy mind, as I always say. How can I be of further assistance? Well, actually, I didn't see anything. I was over across the bridge. I heard a shot and came over. I can tell you I was sure surprised to see Calder's body lying there. I just got here when I saw Rickard coming out of the rocks holding his blaster. I was terrified. I had no idea what he was going to do, so I hit my emergency button and called the Enclave. Master Baluk came out here with his droid and started questioning us. I think he really doesn't understand what's going on. I hope that you'll be able to make a more informed decision and get me out of here soon. I have things I have to do. Of course, of course. Listen, if you need anything, I shall be glad to assist.
So, what do you want to know? Well, I kind of sprained my ankle running through the bush before I found the body, but it's nothing that serious. So, what do you want to know? I told you already, didn't I? Was hunting some Irias. Haven't seen many in the area recently, what with those Kath hounds acting up. but they're still around. Was in my blind a little south of here when I spotted one, like I said before. I shot and pow, it went down. But when I come over here, there's Handon standing over the body and the Iriaz was gone. Now, I don't have nothing to do with this, so can I go now? So, what do you want to know? Well, I was out hunting Iriaz south of here, and I saw one over by the bridge. The sun was pretty much right behind it, though, so I couldn't see it none too clearly. I shot, and when I came over here, I found Handon standing over the body, holding his side. There wasn't an Iriaz in sight. I think he might have taken it. Calder must have been hunting it himself, because there was a rifle lying close to the body. Bullock's got that now. Mine, too. I want that back. Right.
Is there any other information you need? Very well. I will be here to assist you.
Akupa? Ronda diho tonga kun hanta kung just tak miki grabel mogo. Kachichu, jedo badwana ni di bobo. Tong hait wam jiji jum lumpa. Nita poe tikito, mucho shak pakat. Akupa chekopa? Gino. Ronda diho tonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez. Jedo badwana ni di bobo. Dokta kun just tak miki grabel mogo. Kachichu ita bondunga. Jedo badwana ni di bobo. Tong hait wam jiji jum lumpa. Nita poe tikito. Ta kung just tak miki grabel mogo. Kachichu kachikun ita haudon. Mucho shak pakat.
So, what do you want to know? You Jedi are so predictable, always seeing some greater purpose behind everything, when the simple answer is usually the right one. Can't you see that it must have been Handon? I found him standing over the damned body. I don't know why this is causing you so much trouble. You almost seem as lost as this Bullock guy. So, what do you want to know? Yeah, I knew him. Hell, we've known each other for a good long time. Doesn't mean I really have to have liked the slimeball. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on him. Especially now that he's dead. We actually got along pretty well most of the time. We just had our differences. We were actually business partners. We were involved in some orbit-to-ground transport operations for Aerotech. Can I leave now? I should probably be the one to give the news to his wife. So, what do you want to know? Right.
Is there any other information you need? According to the municipal authorities near the Garan spaceport, there had been news of violent drunken activity in a cantina attached to the port. Apparently, a Mr. R. Lusoff was making accusations at a Mr. C. Netic about cheating him in a business deal. Jedi Tuka was dispatched to the scene and restored order. Is there any other information you need? The Southwood Speeder rental business has records that over the past several weeks, a speeder had been rented by Mr. Netic and Mr. Gould. Is there any other information you need? Very well. I will be here to assist you.
So, what do you... Now, I don't love Calder, but we go back a long way. We run a suborbital shipping and transport company out of Garang Spaceport. We've been partners in that business for well over 20 years, and we've been doing just fine the way we are. Right.
How can I be of further assistance? Well, you see, Calder was involved in some pretty sordid business from time to time. More often than not, I've heard. Disreputable business practices, even more disreputable clients. I've even heard he had dealings with a hut. A hut here on Dantooine. Now, I bet you're wondering if I had any reasons to kill the man, but I tell you, I hardly knew him. I saw him once or twice, yes, and I've heard some pretty unkind things about him, but certainly nothing that would make me want to kill him. But I realize this must seem like a motive to you, but I assure you it isn't. I dislike Calder, true. I would punch his face in, given the opportunity, but I would not kill him. My wife was cheating on me with him. I slept in my own bed while I was in the next room. But, as much as I may hate him for that, I could not kill him. It may have been my own fault for driving my wife away. I must try not to take the law into my own hands. I was just out running, trying to clear my head for the divorce proceedings, not stalking him to kill him. Running is not a crime. Of course, of course. Listen, if you need anything, I shall be glad to assist.
Tukning chatukune muleka chikun itahodonga runga dihodonga kun hankabi. Takunjus takmiki grabelmogo kachichu itabodunga tolbabank wale oganda naru chuchut. Mogisha ponka bola wana chikne ka chikun itahodonga muchushat pakat.
Is there any other information you need? We cannot get any more specific analysis from that sample other than the fact it did not belong to Calder. Is there any other information you need? Very well. I will be here to assist you.
How can I be of further assistance? That blaster was stolen from my house last week. I never knew what happened to it. I hardly have enough money to afford a single blaster, let alone another. I can't tell you how important it is to have a weapon on hand with all these ravenous cath hounds around. Even an Irias can take a man down if it gets in the mood. Every settler has a weapon. It's our most prized possession. I would most appreciate it if I could have that back after you determine that Rickard's the killer. How can I be of further assistance? Of course, of course. Listen, if you need anything, I shall be glad to assist.
So, what do you want to know? That blaster? Never seen it before. Calder himself had a preference for Echani weaponry. He had this one really nice light blaster rifle that he always used. Always wished I could get myself a rifle like the one he had.
Echanis make delicate weapons with too little firepower. Lightweight stuff, if you ask me.
That blaster ain't it, though. Calder only had the one rifle, too, so he either must have borrowed that, or it's someone else's. Right.
Runga dihodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun be takunjus takmiki grabelmogo kachichu. Runga dihodonga kun hankabi.
Is there any other information? I am sorry, but I seem to be failing you. I have searched and searched, but I cannot seem to come up with anything at all. I thought to find the record of the missing weapon report Mr. Gould filed with the authorities, but there does not seem to be one. Is there any other information you need? Very well.
Runga dihodonga kun hankabi. Kachikun itahodonga. Muchushat pakat.
Is there any other information? I have just received back an analysis of a sample of the blood found on the weapon. It had been sent back to the Enclave just before you arrived. The blood on the weapon is definitely not KotOR's. Unfortunately, there was a bacterial contaminant in the sample that had been taken back to the laboratory, and it had become degraded. We cannot get any more specific analysis from that sample other than the fact it did not belong to KotOR. Is there any other information you need? Very well.
How can I be of further assistance? Injured? No. Of course.
So, what do you want to know? Right.
Tong abong siya umina. Lunga di hodonga. Lunga di hodonga kun hangkabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule.
Hey, what are you doing?
Jito ba dawana ni Gibobo? Tong nabuta kung just tak Miki grabel mogo. Kachichu itabo du. Lunga di hodonga kun hangkabi. Wana tong abong siya umi. Takong just tak Miki grabel mogo. Kachichu itabo dunga. Kachikun ita hodonga. Iki lunga di hodonga kun hangkabi. Wantong haitwam jiji jum lumpa. Nita poe tikito. Dolpa da bongwaleo. Damn you.
Damn both of you.
Takong just tak Miki grabel mogo. Kachichu itabo dunga. Kachikun ita hodong haitwam jiji jum lumpa. Nita poe tikito.
Well done. I'm impressed. I'm not sure I could have done as well.
Achuta. Wonga kun bis dolbi kikuyana. Dong patugas makkelea.
So this is the meddler. You have caused us far too much trouble for a mere Jedi.
Now this is what I've been waiting for.
I will add your head to those of the other Jedi I have killed, and take yet another lightsaber for my own. Now you will know why the Mandalorians are feared.
The Force fights with me! There, take it.
Huh?
What?
What can I do?
Sure.
What can I do?
Sure.
I think the droid is trying to communicate with us by cycling through a variety of languages. Each time it spoke, it was using a very different alien dialect. The droid can probably understand us. The only problem is it may not have been programmed with the phonemes of a language we can understand. I recognize this language as well. It's an archaic variant of the Selkath dialect spoken on Manan. But why would a droid on Dantooine be programmed to speak ancient Selkath? It must be referring to Revan. The Dark Lord and Malak likely encountered this droid when they explored these ruins. These builders must have been an extinct people, though it is strange there's no record of their existence. Even the archives of the Jedi Academy make no mention of them. In the years before the Republic, the Hutts were a dominant force in the galaxy, but they never constructed an empire. In fact, I know of no species that would fit with this information. Ten revolutions would take more than 20,000 years. If this is true, then this droid is nearly 5,000 years older than the Republic itself. There must be some mistake. The droid is obviously not programmed with the knowledge we seek. The Starforge sounds like some type of weapon, perhaps. Though in fact, it could be anything. Our vision was clear. We saw Revan and Malak speaking of the Starforge. I'm certain it is somehow connected to the Sith's sudden rise to power. Maybe the droid has more information we can use. It seems to respond to you. Perhaps you should ask it something else. The droid must be talking about poor Nemo. The Council sent him here to investigate, and it cost him his life. Revan and Malak unlocked the sealed door and uncovered the secrets of the Starforge. Now Malak is using the Starforge to fuel his conquest of the Republic. We have to find out what they uncovered. We have to find a way to unseal these doors to learn more about the Starforge. The Republic is depending on us. If the droid is correct, then we must complete the tasks in the proving grounds to the east and west before these doors will open.
Let's make this quick. You shall fall. The Force fights with me.
This must be what Revan and Malik found when they entered this temple. This must be where their journey down the dark side began. This is a map, some sort of intergalactic navigational chart. Revan and Malik must have used this to lead them to the Starforge. We could use this map to follow their path and find the Starforge ourselves, but we must be wary. They may have laid traps or concealed what they found. I don't know, but Revan and Malik were very interested in finding it. It must be a tool of some type, or maybe a weapon. Perhaps the Council can tell us more, but I think this map might be the key to finding the Starforge, whatever it is. See this world here? This looks like Korriban, a Sith world. And if that's Korriban, then this is Kashyyyk, and Dantooine, and here's Manaan. But there are pieces missing. Incomplete hyperspace coordinates, corrupted data, and there doesn't seem to be anything indicating where the Starforge itself might be. I was thinking that too. This map can't take us to the Starforge, but I know that Revan and Malik visited Korriban at least once. Perhaps they discovered something more there. They may have found something on each of the other worlds that completed this map. Maybe if we find all the pieces, they'll lead us to the Starforge, and some way to destroy it. We must inform the Council of what we've discovered. They must decide our next course of action, though I suspect our task has only just begun. I'm here.
Yes?
Oh, thank you, thank you. I don't know what I would have done if I had lost him. It's just so great to have him back. We're just gonna go right home, right now, and celebrate. Aren't we, my lovely little droid? Don't worry. I'm gonna hug you and oil you and care for you and make sure you never, ever get away again.
Have you found the Mandalorian raiders yet? Thank you, young master. My daughter can now, I think, rest in peace. Here is the reward I promised you. No, please take it. This pitiful amount will never be enough for what you have done for me. Again, I thank you. I will be sure to tell the Council of your great deed.
How can I help? No, not bothering me. Not exactly. I've been thinking about what the Jedi Council said about the two of us. There is a bond between us. I do not dispute that. I can feel it, as I'm sure you can. The nature of that bond and its effect on our mission remain in question. Please. I'm a Jedi. Such feelings, such attractions are, well, they're beneath me, quite frankly. I admit I find you intriguing. I find your command of the Force intriguing, but my interest in you is purely academic. Surely you can understand why. Our fates are strongly connected. So connected that a literal bond has been forged between us. I saw your service records when you were transferred aboard the Ender Spire, but nothing beyond that. I know very little about you. I'd like to ask you some questions, given our relationship. I was referring to the bond we share, the one the Jedi Council spoke of. If I was actually interested in you, rest assured I could come up with a much better approach than this. Don't worry, these are simple questions, nothing too intrusive. First, what kind of background do you have? Good. On which planet were you born? Excellent. Your current age is? Yes. Well, the truth is, I was studying how you responded to my questions. Your reactions helped me judge you. This was a test for me to learn more about your character. You were honest, which is good. And you treated this as a serious matter, which it is. This bond we share will shape both our destinies. It is not to be taken lightly. But I imagine you've had enough questions for a while. So many things have happened to you since Taurus. It's probably a lot for you to absorb. We can speak again later, after you've had time to think about all this.
What?
Sure.
Yeah, what do you want? I was one of the best youth warriors in the clan Ordo in my time. No one before me had mastered the power of our basilisk war droids as quickly as I had. Except Mandalore himself, of course. In those days, we were sweeping across the Outer Rim, destroying all who fought us. Young Mandalores would prove themselves in real combat with unknown opponents above 1,000 worlds. Each brought back stories of his achievements. I remember it well, orbiting high above a placid world, its defenses just stirring. As was tradition, I would go ahead of the first wave to find enemies in the thickest fighting. I remember sitting there in my armor, linked directly with the basilisk thrumming beneath me, my heart racing with fear of the coming battle. Every new warrior has to fear to understand how to beat it. You must know that. The doors opened in front of me, and the air was sucked out of the drop bay, scattering crystals of frozen vapor across my path. I can't describe what it feels like to look directly down at a world, falling continuously as you circle it, with barely 15 centimeters of armor plate protecting you. When the magnetic locks disengaged on my droid, I plunged out of the drop bay towards the battle that waited below. The exhilaration, the euphoria I felt as I streaked into the atmosphere, dodging self-guided projectiles and beam weapons, was unmatched. An 80-kilometer plunge through the atmosphere, dodging and weaving, the outside of my armor glowing like the sun with the heat of re-entry. And with barely 30 meters to spare, I twisted and skimmed the surface, firing at the giant beam generators that were in my path. The explosion from that sent shock waves that leveled the entire complex around it. It was the moment of my life. I'll never forget those times. But things are different now. We can't go on fighting the way we did. There are too few of us left now. But I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I trust I've satisfied your curiosity for now. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
Shen and Rahasia have been welcomed here in the compound for as long as they wish to stay.
I am glad that your help enabled them to remain together.
Ah, you have returned, young Padawan. Have you discovered what it was that Revan and Malak sought in those ruins? This news of a Starforge is disturbing. Action is required, but we must not do so in haste. We must discuss recent events in light of this new information.
We should consult the Jedi archives to see if there's any mention of the Starforge and what it might do. We must learn why Revan and Malak sought it out.
Return to your ship with Bastila, and we will summon you when we are done. Padawan, you have done well in discovering the star map hidden within the ancient ruins. But there is more you must do in the battle against Malak and the Sith. We Jedi know victory over the Sith will not come through martial might. The Council has a mission for you, Padawan.
I've consulted our vast archives in an effort to discover the nature of this Starforge, but all my efforts have been in vain.
Still, the Council are in agreement. The Starforge must be found. Revan and Malak sought it out when they began their tragic fall. The Starforge is surely a powerful tool of the dark side.
The star map in the ruins showed you 4 planets, but it was incomplete. It did not show the location of the Starforge itself. We believe there may be similar star maps on other planets. Each star map is likely a small piece of a larger puzzle. Find the star maps on Kashyyyk, Dantooine, Manaan, and Korriban, and we believe they will lead you to the Starforge. The Jedi numbers have been ravaged by this war, by defections to Malak's cause, and by Sith assassins. But we realize the importance of this mission. Yet if we send a company of Jedi Knights with you, we would surely draw the full attention of Malak and the Sith, dooming your efforts to failure. Secrecy is our best defense against the Sith, but it would be foolish to send you on this quest without someone to aid you, young Padawan. Bastila will accompany you, for there is a powerful connection between you two. A connection that might be the key to unraveling the mysteries uncovered by Revan. And Juhani has also asked to accompany you. After long deliberation, we have granted her request.
Juhani nearly fell to the dark side. Perhaps her presence will serve as a reminder to you of the dangers of that path.
Of course, those who aided you on Taris will also come. They possess skills you may find useful in your quest. Remember that secrecy and discretion are paramount to your success. You will not be able to hide the fact that you are a Jedi, nor should you. But the true nature of your mission must not reach Malak's ears. You may return here at any time. Dantooine will be a sanctuary for you, a safe haven. Here you can find supplies and whatever advice or other aid we may give you.
You can leave whenever you wish. The sooner the better. The longer you wait, the stronger Malak becomes. But first, a warning, young Padawan. The lure of the dark side is difficult to resist. I fear this quest to find the Starforge could lead you down an all too familiar path.
The fate of the galaxy is in your hands, young Padawan. We pray you are up to the challenge. May the Force be with you. Rahesia Sandral and Shen Matali have come here seeking shelter against their families. The Council has decided to give it to them. Their love for each other was being denied by overly possessive parents, and we learned that it was only by your intervention that they managed to escape here. While it is regrettable that the fences between the families were not repaired, it is good that these two young lovers can live their lives free of oppression.
Master Jar tells me you have successfully completed the tests. And I even see you have constructed your own lightsaber. You should be proud of your accomplishment. But never forget that you still have much to learn. As your power grows, you will constantly face temptations to slip to the dark side. This is the eternal struggle of the Jedi. Greetings, young Padawan. I trust your training goes well. With power comes I wish you luck in your...
Please, don't disturb me. I have pressing matters at hand.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know.
Please.
I guess that droid is really going to serve his master tonight.
Rahesia and I cannot thank you enough for what you have done for us. Now we will finally have a place to share our love, without fear of reprisals from our families. Not yet, my friend. But perhaps someday soon. Rahesia and I cannot thank you enough for what you have done for us. Now we will finally have a place to share our love. Rahesia and I can spend the rest of our lives together. All thanks to you.
Good luck to you both. May you find the happiness you deserve.
I am sorry we have nothing of value to give you as a reward. Our families have cut us off completely. Had the Council not taken us in, we would be foraging in the wilderness to survive. We are waiting before the ceremony. Hopefully in time our fathers will agree to attend. If not, we plan to have a small, simple ceremony. You will be invited, of course.
Ikukuno no ba muliratiku. Ronda di hotonga. Jeda Badawana ni. Jeda. Mucho